Welcome to Byte-Sized Tech, where we blend casual conversations with insightful discussions on the latest in technology and gadgets. We've gathered a whole stack of sources you sent over covering, everything from AI assistants practically running your computer to electric cars getting surprisingly efficient, and some really key updates on digital privacy. Our job is to sift through all that and pull out the stuff you really need to know, so you're up to speed instantly.
Yeah, it's definitely needed this week. The pace is just relentless, isn't it? Things are shifting everywhere at once. The material kind of breaks down into three big areas for us today. First, how AI is moving way beyond just being a chatbot, becoming more like an active agent. Second, some genuinely interesting hardware news, especially around EVs and even gaming performance. And finally, the constant tug of war between making things easy for us and keeping our digital lives private and secure. It's really heating up.
Okay, let's definitely start with that AI shift, because that feels like the main event this week.
Mhm.
For ages, AI just, talked at us. Now it sounds like they want the keys to the car.
That's a really good way to put it. We're heading into what they call agentic operation. I mean, look at Microsoft Copilot on Windows. It's not just stuck inside that chat window anymore.
Right, I saw I can create documents now. How well does that actually work? Is it clunky?
Well, it's designed to be pretty smooth. You can prompt it, ask it to generate whole documents, Word files, Excel spreadsheets, PowerPoint, even PDFs.
PDFs too?
Yeah, directly from the chat interface. If its answer gets kind of long, say over 600 characters, it just gives you an export button. Click that and bam, it pushes the content right into an Office app. You could literally say, make a presentation comparing sales in these two regions, and you'd get the basic PowerPoint structure right there.
Okay, that sounds genuinely useful. Save a lot of copy pasting.
Yeah.
But the real step up seems to be these opt-in connectors. That's where it starts seeing stuff outside of Microsoft, right?
Exactly. That's the big leap. You, the user, can choose to link Copilot to things like your Gmail, your Google Drive, Calendar, Contact. So it stops being just a Microsoft tool and becomes more like a central assistant for your whole digital life across different platforms.
So in theory, if I give it permission, I could ask Copilot to find, I don't know, every invoice from Acme Corp that might be in my Outlook or my Gmail.
Precisely. That's exactly the kind of task it's designed for. Find information across different silos. But, and this is the big question for you listening, are you okay giving one AI access to, basically your entire digital footprint, emails, files, contacts, spread across maybe Google and Microsoft just for that convenience? It concentrates a lot of risk.
Yeah, that definitely gives me pause. And speaking of risk and automation, Google's pushing hard on this agentic AI idea with Gemini 2.5 Pro. How is their agent different from what Copilot's doing?
So Google's definition of agentic AI is more focused on the model generating actions in the digital world, rather than just text or content. It's meant to replace you pointing and clicking for common tasks.
Like instead of telling me how to book a flight, it would actually start the booking.
Exactly. Or maybe sending an email for you, or even making a purchase online.
Whoa, hang on. Making a purchase. How do you stop the AI from accidentally buying like 1,000 rubber chicken? There has to be a safety net.
Oh, absolutely. Google's been very clear about this. They've trained the model to recognize what they call high-stakes commands. So for anything critical, sending money, sharing sensitive data, making that purchase, the model stops and requires you, the human, to confirm before it actually does anything. It's like a crucial "are you sure" button. They know automation is great, but you still need human oversight for the important stuff.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. It's like a race to automate our work lives.
Yeah.
But let's look at the flip side, the creative part. OpenAI seems to be hitting some turbulence with GPT-5. Lots of users are saying it feels rigid, less imaginative.
Yeah, we're seeing that feedback too. And honestly, it's probably an inevitable result of them optimizing it for the enterprise market. As they push GPT-5 towards businesses for things like legal summaries, writing code, consistent customer service bots they have to prioritize reliability and safety, lots of guardrails.
So the person trying to write a fun, crazy story gets a more kind of boring output because the system is tuned for a lawyer needing a predictable, safe summary.
That's essentially the trade-off, yes. Those safety features and consistency checks that make it reliable for corporate use can make it feel, sterile or overly cautious for creative prompts. If you're finding that, remember the quick fixes. Try switching the mode to creative, explicitly tell it the tone you want, like write this casually or just start a fresh chat. Sometimes long chats build up weird constraints.
Good tips.
Yeah.
Now, sticking with AI but shifting to visuals, OpenAI's video tool, Sora, has just blown up, hasn't it? Over 1 million downloads super fast.
Absolutely explosive growth, faster than even ChatGPT initially, and Sora was invite only on iOS to start. And it's not just about making random videos, they've added this cameos feature.
Cameos.
Yeah, where you can insert your own face or a friend's face into the AI generated videos. That makes it instantly more personal and, social.
Wow, okay. With that kind of viral spread and personal data involved, copyright must have become an issue like day one.
Oh, immediately. It was so urgent that OpenAI rolled out a new copyright policy pretty much straight away. They now let creators specifically choose to opt in or opt out of having their work used to train future AI models. That's a pretty big step, trying to balance innovation with creator rights.
That's good to hear. And AI isn't just for after the photo or video is taken anymore, right? There's buzz about Google's Nano Banana model, funny name, powering real-time photo editing with that Kyra camera thing.
Right. Nano Banana is the friendlier name for Gemini 2.5 Flash. And yeah, the Kyra camera is this interesting piece of hardware. It's MagSafe mount for your iPhone.
Yep.
And it uses Nano Banana locally on the device to do generative AI editing in real time before you even press the shutter button.
Wait, hang on. So I could be looking through my phone camera, say, make this look like golden hour, and see the lighting change instantly on the screen, and then take that picture.
That's the idea, yeah. It's Google betting on AI being part of the capture process itself. You photograph the reality you prompted, not just what's physically there. Though it's worth remembering, you can kind of simulate this now with the Nano Banana app. Upload a photo, then use the iterate feature, or just chain prompts like, okay, now make it dusk and remove that distracting car.
Yeah.
The Kyra hardware just aims to make that process instant, zero latency.
Fascinating. Okay, let's totally switch gears now to hardware you can actually drive. The 2026 Subaru Solterra EV. It's getting praised as being surprisingly efficient. How'd they manage that?
Yeah, it's a great example of how incremental improvements add up. It's often the less flashy stuff that makes a big difference. The updated Solterra hit 4.2 miles per kilowatt hour in independent tests. That's really good for its class.
And how did they get there?
Mostly through better thermal management, apparently a much improved heat pump system, and also tweaks to aerodynamics like the front end and underbody shields. Just refining the existing design.
And that 4.2 MICVOD number is key because it directly impacts range, right? Subaru claimed 278 miles, but the testing suggested.
Testing suggested it could actually get closer to 313 miles in real-world conditions. That extra 35 miles over the official claim is a pretty big deal for buyer confidence. Plus, they tackled the charging anxiety issue.
Ah, the charging ports.
Exactly. The 2026 model gets the NACS port, the Tesla standard, so Solterra owners suddenly have access to the whole Tesla supercharger network. That's a massive advantage.
Huge. And they did all this while making it slightly cheaper.
Yep, the base premium trim is $600 less, starting around $38,495. And all trims now get dual wireless phone chargers inside. It's just a much stronger package overall.
Okay, good value. Now, unfortunately, we need to cover a critical safety alert. This involves the EcoFlow Delta Max 2000 portable power stations.
Yes, this is really important. If you own an EcoFlow Delta Max 2000, the model number is EFD310, and there are about 25,000 of them out there. You need to stop using it immediately. There's a recall due to a fire and burn hazard. EcoFlow confirmed 6 incidents already, causing about $850,000 in property damage.
Wow, okay. A fire hazard in a power station sounds like a hardware problem, like a bad battery. Why is the fix just a software update? That seems counterintuitive.
It really highlights how complex these devices are internally. The issue isn't necessarily a faulty physical component like a battery cell melting down on its own. It's a flaw in the software that manages the battery management system, or BMS. The firmware update fixes a bug in how the device regulates voltage and handles charging. Under certain conditions, the old software could let components overheat and, well, potentially catch fire.
So a 5-minute update through the app to version 1.6.2.81 fixes the software logic and prevents a potential fire. That's amazing, actually.
It really shows how critical software is, even for hardware safety. So again, if you have that model, please do the update immediately. Don't wait.
Absolutely. Okay, from power stations to maybe the future of gaming power. Sony confirmed the PS6 is coming in a few years, and the tech behind it, Project Amethyst with AMD, seems heavily focused on AI, or machine learning.
Yeah, that's the core of it. They're using ML to tackle the big performance challenges, especially with demanding visuals like ray tracing. Right now, ray tracing puts enormous strain on the GPU, which is why frame rates often tank in games that use it heavily.
So how does machine learning help with that? Does it just make the GPU faster?
Not directly faster, but much, much smarter about how it uses its resources. They're using AI for things like advanced upscaling and denoising. Instead of the GPU trying to calculate every single ray of light perfectly at native 4K resolution, which is incredibly demanding, it might render a less complex image, and then an AI model intelligently fills in the details, cleans up any noise, and reconstructs a high-quality final image, often looking just as good or even better than brute force rendering.
So the AI handles a lot of the heavy lifting for visual quality, freeing up the main GPU to focus on keeping the frame rate high and smooth.
Exactly. The goal is to get games running smoothly at 60, maybe even 120 frames per second at 4K, while actually using less power than current consoles might need for similar results. AI is really the key enabler for that next-gen performance leap.
Makes sense. Okay, our last section deals with this ongoing tension between data privacy and, well, just the complexity of managing all this tech. There's some potentially good news out of California.
Yes, a potential big win for consumers there. It's called the California Opt-Me Out Act. It takes effect in January 2027. It mandates that web browsers must include a really simple, easy-to-find opt-out button.
Just a button in the browser, what does it do?
When you click it, it sends a standardized signal. They're calling it the OPS for opt-out preference signal.
OPS. Seriously?
Yeah, OPS. It basically tells websites and businesses automatically that you do not consent to them selling or sharing your personal data, your browsing habits, location, inferred interest, all that stuff. It should replace having to hunt through confusing privacy settings on every single site.
That sounds amazing if it works.
Yeah.
California laws often spread right.
They often do set a standard, yes. So we might see similar things pop up in other states. It's a proactive step. But then you have the flip side, the reactive problems, like the security risks that come with things like age verification online.
Right, because verifying age often means collecting really sensitive data.
Exactly. Look at the recent Discord breach. They revealed that government ID photos like driver's licenses for about 70,000 users were exposed. And critically, this data wasn't stolen directly from Discord, but from a third-party vendor they used specifically for handling age verification appeals.
Oof, that third-party risk is always the worry, isn't it? Especially now that states are starting to mandate this stuff.
Precisely. You have new laws, like in Texas, forcing platforms, even huge ones like Apple's App Store, to use commercially reasonable methods to check a user's age for creating an account. If reasonable methods ends up meaning collecting and storing copies of government IDs, you create these massive centralized honeypots of incredibly sensitive, personally identifiable information, PII. Losing 70,000 usernames is bad. Losing 70,000 ID photos is catastrophic.
Yeah, truly scary stuff. And this idea of increasing complexity and data points feeds right into this last concept we found, wearable maximalism, or wearable hell, as some are calling it.
Yeah. Wearable hell. It's this push from big tech to get us wearing multiple gadgets all at once. Not just a smartwatch anymore. Now it's a smartwatch and a smart ring, and maybe smart glasses soon. Maybe even a neural band down the line, all worn simultaneously.
And the example was the Samsung Galaxy Ring, right? It's not supposed to replace their watch.
Exactly. The sources make it clear Samsung sees the Galaxy Ring as an accessory for the Galaxy Watch, not a replacement. Their justification is, a ring is better for sleep tracking, maybe a watch is better for workout heart rate. No single device is perfect for everything. But the underlying goal seems to be maximizing the tech ecosystem's real estate on your body. More devices mean more data collected, more ecosystem lock-in. It actually adds complexity back into your life.
That's such a stark contrast, isn't it? It really sums up this whole discussion. On one side, we've got this push for agentic AI to make life simpler. AI helping argue with insurance companies, writing emails for us, maybe clicking that OPS button automatically.
Yeah.
Reducing friction everywhere.
Yeah, the promise is this radically streamlined existence. But then, like you said, on the hardware and data side, we're potentially managing an ecosystem of 5 different wearables, making really complex choices about trading privacy for AI convenience, and maybe even filtering our AI's output because it's become too sterile for creative work.
So it leaves us with this question maybe for you to think about. We see AI being designed to smooth out the rough edges of life, to automate the tedious stuff. Is the next decade really going to be about eliminating complexity and busy work? Or are we just swapping out the old analog complexities for new, maybe even more demanding digital ones, like constantly managing the security, the updates, the data permissions, and maybe even the creative output of our multi-device AI-driven lives?
It's definitely going to be a fascinating balancing act going forward.
Thanks for tuning in to Byte-Sized Tech. If you enjoyed this episode, like, comment, share, and subscribe for more fun tech discussions.